We're in Civitavecchia, Italy, the main cruise port for Rome. We'll see Fort Michelangelo, the waterfront, a medieval gate and narrow streets, Church of the Death, Cathedral of St. Francis of Assisi, San Lorenzo Market, Archaeological Museum, street art, and finally where we stayed. Fort Michelangelo was built between 1508 and 1535 when the city was part of the Papal States. This complex is on top of a Roman building from the Imperial Age. Michelangelo Buonarroti was commissioned to build the highest tower of the fort. The fort was not open to the public on this visit, but I was able to enter the courtyard on a visit 10 years earlier. The promenade and park around the fort is a relaxing place to visit. We'll walk along the waterfront from near the train station to the cruise port. There were only a few people on the beach, but it was early on a weekday in May. You can walk out on the jetties. Some locals were out catching fish. Emperor Trajan greatly enlarged the harbor area in the 2nd century to provide Rome with a deep water port as an alternative to the Tiber River ports. The Roman town here was called Centum Celle. This port became more prosperous in the 4th and 5th centuries as silt built up in the Tiber River. Centum Celle suffered in the mid-6th century during wars with the Goths. Centum Celle became part of the Papal States in 728 and was refortified. From Porto Antico we see Fort Michelangelo, the Pope Urbanus VII Wall, the Porto Livorno Gate, then the Rock of Civitavecchia, remains of a castle built around 1400. These walls protected Civitavecchia from the 15th century and were expanded in the 16th century. The fortress was almost completely destroyed by bombing in World War II. Many of the boats here are for leisure, but others are for fishing, evidenced by the large collection of nets by the waterfront. The Garden of Calata della Rocchia has various plants, benches, outdoor art, and 15th century fortifications nearby. Large cruise ships are berthed in the distance, but the road to them is backed by Fort Michelangelo. We will soon board the Holland America line Oosterdam on the left. Remnants of the medieval city walls and gates were incorporated into some buildings in the city center, including a restaurant and passageway here. Apart from French occupation in 1806, the Papal States controlled this area until it was turned over to the Italian general Nino Bixio in 1870. Many of the streets in the old city are narrow and one-way. Streets are also not on a grid, so it can be easy to get lost. The streets were empty this morning, but got livelier in the evenings, with lights on and music playing. Another building incorporating remains of the old city walls. On the right is the Church of St. Mary of the Prayer, commonly known as Church of the Death. This is the oldest church in Civitavecchia. Built in 1685, the bell tower was added in 1698. This church is the work of the Confraternity of Death and Prayer, started in the 16th century to provide adequate burial to corpses abandoned outside the city walls or in the sea. The artwork here is comparable to what's in museums and churches in Rome, though some of it could use restoration. Church of the Death was not seriously damaged during World War II. Churches have been in this location for centuries. The Cathedral of St. Francis of Assisi was rebuilt in 1782 and became a cathedral in 1805. It was seriously damaged during World War II and completely restored in 1950. The San Lorenzo Market has been taking shape since 1884 after the city walls were knocked down. Locals buy their fruits, vegetables, fish, and meat in this market, which is open every day except Sunday from 6:30 in the morning until 1 p.m. Crowds can vary based on the season and day of the week. I expect it to be much busier on a weekend. The Archaeological Museum of Civitavecchia contains Etruscan, Roman, and medieval artifacts in a 2-story building. Signs in Italian and English explain the various exhibits. Nearby dig sites of Etruscan and Roman settlements are explained, including the Taurian Baths, which are a few miles away. Near the train station, The wall on the left contains images of Civitavecchia's history. The events of 2020 made their mark in this mural. And some eateries have their doors painted. We stayed at the Hotel Porto di Roma. It was a 10-minute walk to the train station and slightly shorter walk to the cruise shuttle station. Our room was clean and quiet, and the breakfast buffet provided a variety of selections for breakfast. We received a friendly reception at check-in and cocktails. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like and subscribe buttons to help it get shared. If you have any questions about touring Civitavecchia, please leave a comment below.